When I first played the demo of Triversal at the beginning of 2021, I was really taken aback by the way how Triversal manages to perfectly balance chill and challenge in what is a very simple game premise that was really Moorish. Now I've had the pleasure of playing the full game, and I can honestly say that that kind of cohesion carries throughout the entire game experience, and this has been one of the most joyous puzzle games that I've had the pleasure of playing in 2021. The idea of Triversal is that you control or have indirect control of a light orb, and in each level there's a black hole that needs to be covered with this light orb, and you do that by having 3 tethers that you can then click on or move to or press a button on to tether your light orb to. It reminds me a little bit of, I'm going to go proper old school here, Cat's Cradle games, where you used to make things with string. But it also reminds me a little bit of Bridge Simulator or Bridge Builder games, because these tethers act like elastic bands. So they kind of pull with force to make things taut, and that's how you get the light orb into the right place using the right orbs. And tethers, sorry. Where this starts to increase in difficulty is that all these tethers and the places that you can hook them to are normally sedentary, but then they start to be included in the middle of other tethers. So that means that you've got this moving spider webs network of tethers that when you hook onto them will push, pull and manipulate around depending on the force that you're pushing or pulling onto them with. And that's proper cool. On top of that, you also have coins that are dotted around the level, the green pickups. And the beauty of these are that if you can collect those on your way to hitting par by completing a level within a certain set of moves, you can then use these coins for hints and tips, or to simplify a level by removing nodes that aren't actually part of the solution. That's proper cool as well, because it rewards people kind of moving around to try and collect and swing the light orb around the tethers that you may not necessarily need for the solution, but you can kind of do a swing round maneuver to capture the coins and then end up in the final move before you hit like the 7th move in the level, and then you start going over par. Coins are also really interesting and vital in endurance mode. And I should dive back, there's 4 different modes in this game. You've got puzzle packs, which are bog standard levels that have been handmade and designed to work for you. Daily puzzles are randomly generated things that will come along daily. No surprise there for you to try and get through. And there's 10 puzzles in a row for you to survive. Sandbox is just an open, endless puzzle loop with no pressures or anything to worry about. But endurance mode is kind of like the hardcore mode of the game. And this is where every move that you make costs a coin. And so you need to be going around collecting those coins, but you need to balance that risk versus reward, because as the endurance mode puts in more and more complicated and difficult levels, it also starts to put in hazards and traps that will remove coins from you if you hit them. And so it might mean that you might try to go and collect a coin or 2 in a corner, but you'll be A, spending a coin for that move, but B, you might run into some traps and lose even more coins along the way. The beauty of Triversal, though, and this is why I say it's a balance between chill and challenge, is that there's no time limit for anything. It's just you against the brain power of yourself to solve the puzzle. So you can just sit there and really work out your own solutions and potentially just rack up perfect after perfect after perfect as you go along, which scores you all of the big points. One of the good things that can help with that as well is streamer assist mode, which I actually turned on and left on as default, even though I didn't stream the game. And what this does is it adds on numbers to all of the different nodes that you can tether to, and then people in chat can kind of shout out what they think the answer is. But I ended up turning that on so that I'd be saying aloud to myself as I was solving the puzzles. I was like, yeah, 2, 3 and 7. And in my head, that was like how I was solving stuff. Outside of the actual game itself, which just continues to get more and more complex with more moving parts to a level, And that's why I kind of say it reminds me a little bit of Bridge Constructor, because you're dealing with forces of physics pushing and pulling and back and forth so that the elastic band tethers are taut where possible. All of the graphics themselves are completely customizable. There's lots of different themes that you can choose from. So you've got like a science one, a dual one, like a DNA type one, and like a heavy gloss one as well. And they get unlocked the more you play. You've also got a couple of different soundtracks to use as well, depending on the type of chill out music that you want to play with as well. And that's all great fun. But yeah, the solid gameplay mechanic is down and it is really well honed. Also, having played the daily puzzles for a good week or so in pre-release for this game, as well as enjoying sandbox and endurance modes, what I've found is that the automated kind of level design that it's pulling from for these randomly generated levels works really well, especially when it starts to up the difficulty a little bit. So you have pretty much endless replayability here for you to get nuts with and play with. So yeah, a real hidden gem I think this will be in 2021 is Triversal. It made a lasting impression on me when I played the demo. The game absolutely lives up to my own personal internal hype. And if you're looking for a chill out, relaxing puzzle where it's just you and your brain power against the logic of the puzzle, Triversal is absolutely a game that you should be seeking out. Written review will be over on higherplayinggames.com. If you found this informative, please do let us know with a thumbs up and perhaps a comment to let us know how you're getting on if you bought the game yourself. Until next time, happy puzzling! Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane-network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.